Hello VC, Plastic Eric here, Plastic Soundwave Cult, here for a lovely, lovely edition of Collection Connection, the game that's just an excuse to talk about music. It's a game I play with my brother Bryce over in Good Show Ponsonby. Every Monday I do a video. Bryce finds a connection to the album that I just talked about. Could be a connection in any old way. And then on Thursday he does a video from an album in his collection that connects to the one I talked about on Monday. And then on Monday, I repeat the whole process. And in the meantime, hopefully you can guess what the connection is. And on Bryce's last video, nobody was able to guess the correct connection. And so actually the connection between Earth, Wind & Fire's I Am and Erasure's Wild is that both of those albums contain a single that has a song called Star. So with that, we'll go on to Erasure's Wild that Bryce showed on his channel on Thursday. I listened to that. He was correct about the 2,000 miles, which is about how far I want to throw this cat right now. And so, Bryce talked about 2,000 miles on that album because of his association with the song 2,000 Miles from Pretenders. He had a tough time with that song. I didn't necessarily have that much of a tough time with it. It's definitely much less Christmassier than the one that the Pretenders do. But it basically sounds like it's just getting away from somebody. Common theme that you hear in a lot of songs. I felt that when I listened to Wild that it was much more influenced by disco. I mean, Vince Clarke has always been very good at creating those little melodies or those little signature sounds in his songs. To me, he's the synthesizer equivalent of like a guy that's really good at coming up with riffs on a guitar. He does such a fantastic job of coming up with these little melodies, quick little melodies that he can repeat over and over and over again and keep the songs quite catchy. But I definitely felt that the disco influence was much greater in this album than other albums that I've heard from them. Overall, thought it was okay. To be honest, I'm pretty happy with the Erasure that I have in the sense of I connect a little bit more with the first three Erasure albums. But I did not feel that Wild was a bad album at all. I thought it was pretty good. It was still in line with what their other albums sound like. And so, what was I able to connect with Erasure's Wild? Let's find out. And so the album that I connected to Wild by Erasure is Talk Talk, Spirit of Eden. Took me a little bit of time to get used to this album. Color of Spring is still probably my favorite album of all time. It's one of the few albums that hit me hard and has stuck with me no matter when I listen to it. It's very powerful. This is also a very powerful album, but much in a different way. It's kind of like how the songs are in this. Your experience with it is kind of a slow burn. It's Talk Talk, but it's definitely something very different that they were doing. Definitely think that it did take me a lot of time to get used to this album. I want to say the first song that I started to really like on here was Desire. And then it was I Believe in You. And as just time went on, I got to really appreciate this album for what it was. And how Color of Spring was really a transitional album between this and the album that they had done previously to Color of Spring. This here is just fantastic, experimental. Since listening to this and getting to enjoy this, I have found that I much more enjoy people who like to think outside of the box when they come to the music. And I'm not even saying that these guys even came close to starting it. But I appreciated it eventually when they did it. And it came a time now where I can definitely enjoy more avant-garde type music. And of course, with the help of some channels out there, there's Stunt Rock Confusion, who does a lot of avant-garde and electronic, and this is kind of that really cool blend of avant-garde and synthesizers. And it still has that talk feel. Maybe it's Mark Hollis's vocals. But yeah, this album is absolutely fantastic. To be honest, I still have to listen to The Laughing Stock. I haven't listened to that album yet. But from what I understand, it's very similar to this one. And yeah, if you get a chance, it might take a while, but it does kick in, and it's a fantastic album. And I think I'm about hitting that time. I mean, yeah, cassette. If I remember my other one, yeah, it's got the clear. That was very popular near the end of the 80s there. I noticed that, yeah, they started having all their later stuff on XDR cassette, which was a type of Dolby. These actually, these cassettes do sound absolutely fantastic. Even, I mean, I bought this when it came out, and it still sounds fantastic when I play it on my cassette player here. And so, yeah, with that, hopefully you'll be able to tell me